Hello and welcome to another episode of Reseller Information Network. We are on episode 53. We've crossed the 1 year mark and we're on our way. Last week we were here celebrating our 3K and now we're moving on up, headed towards the big 4K. So we do appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here and for sharing us out with your friends and neighbors in the reseller community. And otherwise, if you just have somebody who likes to watch YouTube, hey, we're here for you. Just come on by. We did want to make mention of some things today that we are going to be talking about later in the episode. We have some exciting news for the RIN community and beyond. We're going to be talking about a brand new reselling platform that you will definitely want to hear more about. We at RIN are actually created our own marketplace, and we're going to be sharing more about that. So stick around to hear more about that. Also, we are going to be sharing once again what we sold, some of the little highlights over the past week, because I know that's always good. It's always good to learn what other people are selling, so you know when you're out on the old treasure hunting, looking for things, so you can know what to look for yourself. But first of all, we want to get to some of today's comments, and then we'll recognize our channel members. Some of the comments we had today was, first up, Trash Cat Rescue. Kristen says, guys, I did it. I've sold 104 items on eBay, all thanks to you all. Man, for us, one of those things that we definitely enjoy hearing that, because we're getting cha-chings and cha-chings and cha-chings. You know, we were at the beginning of Kristen's reseller journey. She came over and found us early on before she listed her first item. And so it's like kind of watching like one of your kids grow up, right? They're taking their first steps and then they begin to run. That's Kristen. She's on her way. So thanks for the comment, Kristen. Wiggle Room says the tags info is great. Thanks, Philly Flipper. We actually ran a contest this past week regarding Paul stepped in for Leroy last week. If you haven't seen that episode, go back and watch it. He was doppelganging for the week.
The winner messaged me on Instagram.
Nice. You got the address?
Not yet, but I will get to that.
Okay, cool. So we do, and actually I'll go ahead and recognize her. She's in this chat as well. Mystery Diva Divers is who won the tape gun and supply of tape from American Bubble Boy. There is a link down below for American Bubble Boy if you need bubble wrap or tape. Oddly enough, they also have their own coffee brand at American Bubble Boy. So if you're a coffee drinker, it's worth a try. I've got a bag here at the house myself. So Ots Antique says, love to see you all. Nice to see Philly Flipper swing by too. He says, I'm here for the tape. So, Azkatsu once again says, so much to learn. Charity Faulkner says, very informative. And let's see. Lisa Durr says, great stuff. Love the tags and what's sold for sure. Thanks, Philly Flipper, for filling the seat for Leroy. He's always missed and couldn't have picked anyone better to sit in there. Tell a friend about RIN for sure. So we do thank all you guys who do watch and support the channel. We definitely do appreciate each and every one of you. We are going to go ahead and jump into.
Let me give a big shout out to all of our channel members, including AZ Katsu, Simply Shenanigans, Shanna, Diane Matthews, our very own Blood, Sweat, and Cell, Trash Cat Rescue, New England Betty Boop, Joe Deals, Old School Picker, Vintage Sport Flips, Charities, Terrific Finds, Kathleen the Fernway Flipper, Ohio Pickers, Annette and Frank, Rudely Retro, Absolute Finds, Des Hardy, Heather Peddler, and last but certainly not least, Mr. James Steinbreaker.
Thank you so
We
much
love you guys.
for doing the starting lineup. I almost feel like we're at a Bulls game and the lights just dimmed and we're flashing and here they coming out like that old school. But we definitely do appreciate your you as channel members, and channel members did want to let you know that we're doing a little something special for you guys as well. If you become a channel member, you'll see about that. We'll be talking about it later on. But we do thank you guys for all that you do and your support for sure. So we do want to go ahead and jump into some what's solds for today. So let's go ahead and pull up our man Leroy. We missed him so much last week. He's out gallivanting.
We let him go first.
Of course, you're gonna let me go first when my computer just acts up. All right.
We're trying to catch you before you went blurry on us.
Yeah, I'm already blurry. I have a blue screen over here. All right, let's see. So here's the first one, guys. So this is I am so messed up right now. This is a gear. It's an old gearbox that actually someone gave to me for free, $3.99. So I said, yeah, I'll eat that up real quick, and I listed it. They're really hard to find. If you see, they're small. They're probably like they fit in the middle of my hand here. So if you guys ever see something like that, especially it says with the names on them that you see, make sure you look it up because they are. Again, guys, I price my stuff really low. So if you see that price there, it's the rest of the market is a lot higher. And the next item I have, some of the stuff, guys, is not like super expensive, but it's just stuff I always want you guys to keep a lookout for. This item here is just a roll of solder. You guys, I talk about this probably a couple times a year. If you guys see solder at these estate sales and you see it in a box, you might see the torch tips, the small tips for the small tanks. If you can get them for $4 or $5, grab them. I mean, one roll sold for $23. So that's always good to keep an eye out on. And the next one is one of Eric's buddies. Eric, there's a story behind it. Eric and I went to this yard sale on the 127 that was literally off the beaten path. Like we watched like what, 5, probably more than that.
Oh, there we
find.
Yep.
Like unless we're going.
We were driving way back in the country. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And Eric does not turn around. So we found this yard sale. I could tell the guy wasn't making a lot of sales. So I gave him an offer for like all the gun stuff and the belts and the security stuff that he had on the mat. And I have offered him $40 for all of it. So just wanted to show Eric this paid for just that one. This one piece paid for all of that stuff, and I had like 50 pieces. So those are my little picks for the week, guys. Hope you guys have some nice picks, and don't be afraid to send the picks. You can send the picks. I believe they can send the picks and put them. Can they put them in our Facebook, or can we do that once a week? Put somebody's pick in.
Yeah, Facebook could be great. Instagram, either way. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't bombard us, but every once in a while, if you get something that you're proud of, it doesn't have to be a show-off item. It could just be a bolo item. Send it, and we'll see if we can get it up. It's not going to happen all the time, but we will try.
I did want to say, like, going back there to that sale with Leroy, like I felt like a proud papa for a minute because Leroy stepped out of the box. He didn't buy tools, and he went straight for the bundle. He's like straight, just like, here's a whole mat. Like the guy was even kind of took it back. I was like, I'm just sitting back there grinning, like looking across the way, like, go Leroy. I was like, but yeah, it was good stuff. Good stuff. So, all right, Cernoch.
All right, let's take a look at some of my items that I sold. All right. So this first one, okay, I hate that view. This first one is Reebok 2014 Frank Thomas. I got these super cheap. sometimes with shoes, when they're in great condition and they look a little bit, they got cool designs, I pause and I stop. Now I will tell you, I knew what these were. You know, like I saw them like, I think I know these are. Let me grab those. And they were what they. Now I had them for $179.99. I cleaned them all up. They didn't need much cleaning, but cleaned them all up. Got them like looking good. I received an offer yesterday, and I love those offers when it's like the buyer will pay immediately. It was $140. It's like, you know what? How do you pass that up? So I'm like, I'm not passing this up. And so I sold these for $140. I did a cool background with using the Photoroom app. I put like artificial turf and then in the background, I put a wall with black and white diagonal stripes. And that's kind of what it got. Like, and I really liked it because I was like, oh man, it shows the shoe, but it kind of like pops, like that background kind of pops it too. So I was really happy with this sale. So yeah. I did have another sale. This was yesterday as well. So I wanted to show. Now, this is where I'm going to speak on this right here. I bought this jersey probably like a couple of years ago at Gabe's for really cheap, a little retail arbitrage. But here's the thing. I went back I had it listed. No cool background. No, just blue, there. And so, with some of my older listings, I said, hey, let me, enhance the background. So you see the background's cool, soccer stadium, a little color match because it's got like a little muted pink and everything. So, but then but then something happened. So, always go look at your listings, especially if you do like sport listings. And we've talked about this on the RIN before. Messi got signed by Inter Miami. Okay. So then I'm like, okay, pause. Let's end this listing and then do a relist and change some of the keywords in the listing. So you'll see, Adidas, Inter Milan, MLS, soccer jersey, and then Messi, and then Beckham. I put those two in there because Lionel Messi, he came to the MLS and they, crowds exploded. And Beckham is a part owner of the team. So those two soccer legends already, I put that in the title. And I feel like, after I did this, this jersey really started getting hit. And I finally sold it full price as well. So I was really excited about that. So, hey, sometimes it's good to go back through your listings, change up the photos, change up the title. There might have been some new information that has come to you about your product, so you're able to do that. So I think this is a great example of kind of what I did and how I got the sale. So hopefully that can help you a lot. And I've got one more, guys. We rarely show these.
Bonus round.
Yeah, we rarely show these, but look at this. This is a Poshmark sale. Okay, I always forget when we're doing our what solds. I'm like, man, I'm selling all this stuff on Poshmark, and I never show it. Okay, so I wanted to show this Poshmark sale and I wanted to kind of reiterate my thinking about cross-listing, because you get different eyes on different platforms or different clientele on different platforms. This sold like probably a week and a half, probably 2 weeks ago. I picked this jacket up at Gabe's, little retail arbitrage, $9.99. Okay, Madewell is a great brand. I looked it up. With $9.99, I was like, I really don't have to look this up. I'm gonna grab this. And if you saw my Barracuda jacket, I got these at the same time. Now, what I did was I used the AI background, not on one picture, but I used it on two pictures because it had a great picture of a model in there. And I'll show you kind of a close-up of that, where you can take, if you find your model pics online for some of your RA stuff, throw a cool background on it. I think it enhances the vibe. And then you'll see like in there, I have it, just on the white background, just to have more photos. But this item sold for full cost on Poshmark. Because sometimes or always I always list it higher on Poshmark in order to send out offers because it's a different clientele. So with them taking 20%, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna list it a little bit higher. This sold for full price, where on eBay they could have gotten the same jacket for $80. So it's all those things. Hey, I use Vendoo. My link's down there. If you want to try out Vendoo, I know other people do other things, but the cross listing is a great tool to get your items out to more people. So those are my items.
Good job.
Nice. All right, let's enter the matrix.
I need a sound effects for this. I'm gonna get one. Wait, let's see.
One of these days I'll figure it out.
Here we go.
Does this work like this? Oh, nope, still does the matrix.
We got the matrix.
All right, here we go. Do you guys see this?
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, look at that.
All right.
Ooh,
so I actually got this vase from Cernoch. And you can see I did a couple of different my regular pictures, but this does glow under a black light. So I wanted to do 2 AI background photos, one where it's like how it looks normally, and that's this photo right here. I love this background. For me, I love the sort of like depth of field, blur sort of backgrounds on some of these pieces. I think it just makes this like pop. And then this, obviously, for those of you that are using AI backgrounds on Photoroom, make sure you guys go to photoroom.com on your computer. Use code RIN, and you guys will get a discounted chance to use the Pro plan, and you can use these AI backgrounds. And anytime I do an item that glows, whether it's the cadmium, which is this glass that glows that sort of orange, or uranium glass, which glows green, I use the black water instant background for that, and it works so perfect. So I thought this was a really dope picture. I actually sent out an offer on this piece for $64.99, and the buyer sent out a counter offer. I sent the same offer of $64.99, and they accepted it. So this is out the door for $64.99 plus shipping. And that was a really dope one. This is I was struggling to find the actual maker of this one, and I rarely list an item. Like, I'm pretty stubborn. I'll go like deep into it, but I just it was so difficult. And I found a couple other examples of sold ones, and they also were unable to identify it. So I just went with as much of a descriptive listing as possible. It took about a month or so to sell after I listed it, so not too bad.
Yeah,
and
when I found that piece was just that piece was just too pretty to pass up. I knew it was something like Tim's taught me just enough to where. Now I'll be honest with y'all, okay? Tim gets most of my glass. You know why? Because I don't want to pack it. I don't want to look for it. I don't want to research it. But I can, I have this inventory, so we do a little trade. You know what I'm saying? I get some cool stuff. He gets some cool stuff. So, but like this, this was like too pretty to pass up.
And it was just dirty too when you found it. So like dirty. you saw the potential even underneath that film, because it looked like a completely different piece after I soaked it and everything. So
I didn't know it was shiny.
Yeah, I do. Listen, I didn't either until I really when I packed it up at your house. I didn't know. I was like, I don't know what this is. And then I cleaned it and I was like, I bet you this thing glows. And then sure enough, I put it under the light, and man, it popped too. It was crazy looking. So so I killed it with as much of a descriptive title as I possibly could. And it sold. Another piece that I actually got with Cernoch, and then we're going to move over to an Etsy sale. This item right here, Cernoch and I went to the Shenandoah yard crawl, and as we were leaving one of these yard sales, there was a box in an area underneath a tree, and it just said free stuff. And Cernoch picked up a Roland drum, electric drum. and I grabbed this lampshade, and once again, it was filthy.
Yes.
This thing cleaned up so nice. And it sold for $74.99, but I was running a sale, so it sold for $59.99 plus shipping out the door. And I used a really nice I think this was the green marble countertop AI background here. And I like it when I have an item and I don't want to necessarily the AI background to be all green. So I like it when it has like the dual like split right here, because it makes it pop a little bit more on the green as opposed to sitting green on green. But yeah, this was a really dope lampshade right here. Art Deco frosted green glass lampshade. And yeah, sold for $59.99 plus shipping. So those are a couple of over the years sales from the last couple of days.
Dude, that's awesome. We both made out on that free stuff because I sold that rolling drum for $80.
Oh, see,
so,
look at that.
Yeah. So we both made money off that little free box. And just, man, here you go.
Yep, love it. Free 99, baby.
Free 99.
Yeah, that's a little reseller hack for all you guys. I know everybody on this panel will not walk by a free box. Like
No,
we will not,
never.
even if we don't buy anything else at the sale. Sometimes I buy something at the sale just because I got a mega steal out of the free box. I'm like, well, let me go back and buy something.
I think Tim and I both bought stuff out there at that sale, and then we were walking back to the car. It was like, wait, what is this? And I'm like, oh, that's just free.
I always look at
don't mind
that
if
thing.
I do. And I was like, hey, what's this? Don't mind if I do.
Yeah. I always look at that thing. I'm like, yeah, it's definitely one of those things to look for. All right, let's see. Let's pull up this one. For me, this is like one of those out of the normality for me. I mean, of course, what is normal for me? Because I pick up all kinds of stuff, right? But I actually showed this to the guys this past week about how I'd picked up. This is David Mann, this motorcycle. It's actually a book of prints of David Mann. I don't know if it'll let me do what I want to do, but let's see. Just kind of go in. So David Mann, actually, the magazine Easy Rider, he's the one that did most of the spreads in that magazine, most of the artwork in that magazine. So if you ever see David Mann, this was actually a numbered edition of this print. So number 5828. And I'll show you a couple of examples. Like this is some of his artwork on the inside, which is cool.
Wow.
And here, all these that he drew. Definitely one of those things that, man, upon first look, I was like, it's just another motorcycle book. But I did just a little bit of research and figured out it's not your average motorcycle book. So if you ever see David Mann on something, it's probably a pickup, just FYI, if you see his on a print or anything like that. Next up, let me see what I got here. Next up, let's add this screen. This is I didn't even know what this is. Personal listening device. It's one of those things. I had picked it up in a box slot of a bunch of sound equipment. Like basically there was a whole box there. I think I paid $5 for the whole box, to be honest. And these little units were in the bottom of that thing. I think what they are is like, I think churches actually use these sometimes for people who are hard of hearing. There's some way that this can connect to your sound equipment. And is that correct, Leroy? I heard a little comment in the background.
Yeah, yes, I've seen those in a church before. So
yeah.
Yes, okay. That's exactly what it's used for.
So when you see, like for me, random stuff like this is worth looking up because you never know. Like these I actually had listed for $42 a piece, but my sale is I sold all 4 to one person. They said, hey, would you give me a good price if I bought all of them? So I actually shot them $30 a piece. And so, do a little quick math. You see $120 on these 4 little pieces out of a $5 box. So
that's a win.
Yeah, I'll take that. I think that's more than what I spent the entire day. It's one of those things like I was actually having this conversation with somebody the other day about how when you think about how people do accounting, right? So for me, on yard sale days, like people can do whatever else they want as far as figuring their cost of items, cost of goods. I know some people are like, okay, I paid $1 for this, I paid $1 for that, I paid 10 for this one. Like, but for me, how I do is yard sale days, like I spend $100 or $200 or $300, and I got 300 items. Well, my cost of goods on these
It was
items,
$1 a piece.
like that's how I figure things. Other people do differently. Sometimes the cost of goods so low that I'm like, dude, if it's a penny, like is that really a cost of goods, or is that really like nothing? So because sometimes if you buy in bulk, it gets super, super cheap.
And I think that's important to talk about. I want to talk about this a little bit. I think that is a great thing that you mentioned, because I think a lot of times so many people get involved in this. Well, this is this cost, and it's got to sell for this much. But if you take your average, and I think as resellers, we need to take a look at averages more than just like pinpointing that one sale or that one day of sales. If you have like a day of sales, it's like one day, one sale on one day, and you're like, oh, well, what's going on? But I think it's important to look at the averages, especially when you're sourcing and you're selling, because when you take a look at the averages, like Eric said, that's how I look at it. When I go thrifting, I like to mix thrifting, garage sales, and retail arbitrage all together. So if you're buying at a low cost at one spot or two spots, and then you're paying up for an item, at a Ross or a Marshalls or a Gabe's, like a retail arbitrage, if you think about it, it all blends together in your total cost. So if you sell that, say in a weekend you spend $300, but you sell 2 items out of the 60 items that you sold for $300, everything else is profit, including your retail arbitrage, including your thrifting. So I think that's a good way I think that's a great way to look at it. And then I want to tie that into your sales. Start taking a look at not your daily sales. Don't ever take a look at your hourly sales. Okay. I know some people that do that and it drives them crazy. Okay. Never look at that, but take it and maybe look at it on a weekly basis, or even every 2 weeks. What have I done for this 2 week, and then let's go to the next 2 weeks, or even do it like it's spread out to a month. Okay. And then say, hey, am I projected to reach this month, and set it that way? Because I think a lot of resellers drive themselves crazy going day to day, where it's like, ooh, today was bad. Okay, today was great. Today was bad. So just slow down and say, hey, let's extend this out. If you're doing the right things, if you're doing your listings the right way, if you're doing the sourcing the right way, it will work. We're a panel of proven people that it works for. So just like I say, just slow down and just like extend it out. Okay, you're sourcing and you're selling. Hopefully that clears some stuff up.
I do the same exact thing, especially when I go to the card store or the card shops. I mean, the card shows. That's like my main thing too, because you're buying. It's a lot easier too when you're buying a lot of the same product. Excuse me, when you're buying the same product, because it just makes more sense when you start to average that stuff out. So it's absolutely clutch, and it's something that I do, all the time. It also, like when I'm doing live sales, it makes it a lot easier, because if you think about it, like if you're buying a bundle, like say you buy something a lot from somebody, like for the hats, for example, like I bought all those hats at one price. So like why it makes sense that that's what my average cost per item is in that buy. So like you can still apply that same sort of thing to you know, to thrifting, to all that stuff. It makes sense that way. I think it just depends on how many items you buy. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it makes it a lot more difficult when you go to the thrift store and you're like, damn, this one item is $20 and I didn't find anything else. So like, I'm in this item for $20 at this point. So like, that's when it just gets a little bit more difficult. And you kind of have to like buckle down a little bit and being like, you know, is this really worth it? So,
but if you extend that out a week, though, everything you bought that week, then you can average it all down. That's you know what I'm saying?
You can use that method for sure.
So that $20 item might turn into a $4 item at the end of the week. So if you think about it that way, you know, where you're just like, hey, I might have paid $20 for those boots, but guess what? I also bought some cheap stuff. That's going to just average it all out.
Absolutely.
So I think that for people's mental state, if you kind of trick your brain into thinking that way, I'm not saying it's false thinking, but if you trick your brain into start thinking that way, then you're going to be a lot happier in your reselling voyage.
I completely agree.
I don't know how long, I don't know how good my internet's going to be. But these guys are absolutely right. When I got an auction coming up this weekend and I'm bringing $500. Now I averagely get about 20 lots. So if I get 20 lots at $500, each one of those boxes probably have about 15 items to 25 items in each box. But I just look at it as, okay, I got 20 times, and then I'll put it all out on the table after and figure out the price. One lot I might have been willing to pay $50 for and bought it for $5. Another lot might have been willing to pay $5 and I paid $25. So you have to, like those guys said, you have to make sure that you realize that when I'm bidding on the fly, it's a quick, the next item's up, boom, I'm bidding on it. So you can't get overwhelmed. And you have to just realize you just scored on those last three buys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it is one of those things like you guys obviously said earlier, free boxes. Y'all got free boxes that day. So, I mean, then you're looking at $80 item that you got for free.
Yeah.
I do the same thing at garage sales anyway. Like if you see an item and it may be a little higher priced, like the other day I went and there's a pair of boots. I mean, they're still $100 boots, but for me, I know I come from a different place and a different things. So when you start creeping up on $10 on boots, my eyes I don't know if I want to do that. It's stupid. I know 10 to 100, everybody will take that deal all the time. But for me, what I immediately start doing when I see something that's over, if it's at least double figures, I'm looking for something else. That's just what I do. I will pick up that item. I'll put it underneath my arm or start making a pile, but I'm looking to hedge my bets on other items. How I learned that early on was electronics, because everybody knows electronics at a garage sale is a risk. Because unless they've got a way to test it right then and there, then I'll be honest, for me, sometimes I don't want to test it there, because a lot of times I'll ask, does this work? And they're like, well, I don't know. Last time I did, like I said, well, that for me gives me a little bit more negotiating power. I'll be honest, because then I can say, well, I'm not sure if it works. Like, would you take this? Like, in most of the time they'll say, yeah, because it does two things. Honestly, it makes them think about the last time they used that item. And then, hey, we haven't used this in 15 years or 10 years, and it's sitting in the way. But it also puts a little doubt. Does it work? Does it not work? But I'm always hedging the bets to lower the cost, lower the spend at the place. Because a lot of times you'll pay, like, okay, if I pick up those boots for $10 and they've got a couple other items I pick up, you know what I'll say? Would you do 10 for all this? I'm pretty much, at least, I'm better than major league average in batting when it comes to that. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
It's some of those things. We're probably around the 35-40% mark where they say, yeah, go ahead. So that's just a little, hey, that's a little free segment, a little free nuggets coming out on that one. Hey, we do want to kind of jump into. I did have one question that we wanted to dive into, and then stick around. That news is coming soon about the reselling platform. So we wanted to go in and look at. Gosh, I had it right here. Yeah. Having one of those moments. All right. So the comment was, and it came off of just a blank username. So I don't know if it's somebody that's not subscribed or they just chose a random username. So I'm not going to try to say it. It's like someone's code XY79W898H7F. Okay, whoever you are, we appreciate you being here and asking a question.
Bro, that's should bring up your
Yeah.
Dip.
That's our friend AI. I think he's in here talking to us and letting us know what's going on. But it says, Cernoch, thanks for the reminder to ask questions. For me, I find the numerous steps to get an item listed as tedious. I tend to loaf instead of list. Perhaps I can do the steps in a different order and be more productive. What is everybody's way of getting an item listed? What is your flow? You have found your newfound treasure to sell. Now what? Does it go to a to be listed place, or is it inventoried and then put in a place? Do you inventory? Do you put it in a shipping box or bag ready to ship when you list it? At what point do you do research? There's a lot of questions here, boys.
Yes.
Before or after taking pictures, I can ask a bunch of more questions, but I won't. I think you all catch my drift. I saw an episode where Leroy was explaining his inventory system. Pretty awesome. I would like to at least see half, or I like to at least be half that organized. Thanks, RIN, for your time, advice, expertise, and entertainment. All right. Should I just ask these one at a time?
I'm a shotgun. Can I shotgun blast this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, here we go. So my process is insane, okay? Because I jump around for processes, okay? Now, but I think a process works. This is my best process that I've been most successful with, okay? I got to get the kids out of the house, okay? And I got to have time to focus in. As I used to do graphics art, so I need to like really focus, no distractions, phone off, all those things. I can't. Some people work with like YouTube in the background. I can't do that. I may listen to music in my headphones and just like really attack it. Now, the best thing you can do, kind of like setting yourself up day to day, is set yourself up for the next day. Know what you want to do for the next day. So before you go to bed or before you end out your day, set a few things up going, you know what, tomorrow we can do this, this, and this, okay? So when you do that, now, when I have that all, I usually have everything prepped first. So those are the things. So I do a prepping session. Okay, so I got a prep session. So if I'm doing boots or shoes, I'm cleaning them. If I'm doing hats, I'm steaming them. If I'm doing shirts, I'm getting them all laid out, making sure there's no stains, no wrinkles. I'm getting everything I want to do. Or if I'm doing like tchotchkes or something, I just line it all up and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are the items that I want to list. Okay, then I do all the photos at one time. I just go in there and be like, next, boom, boom. So I'm not jumping back and forth. It's boom, picture. Take all the pictures. Then come upstairs, chill out a little bit. Then I'm like, all right, let me hop on my phone. Let me get on Photoroom. Then I do all my photos and I do all my AI backgrounds. Now I'm ready to list. Okay. Now, sometimes he asked about researching your items. Sometimes I like to research it kind of because I research it as I go. Where if I find a pair of shoes or a pair of boots, I just on my phone, boom, boom, boom. What's this? All right, you know what? Let's add that to the pile. That'll be a good listing. So already kind of preview your items, because if you don't, that'll slow you down a little bit. So know what you're searching for before you take the pictures, even want to list the item. Already have that in your mind. What maybe price you're gonna price it at, and then when you do that, when you start doing the listing, so after all your photographs are done, all your Photoroom stuff is done, and then you sit down and do all your listings, then that's where you can go, you know what? I already know what the title is or the keywords I need to search for. So then you can do a brief search to go, all right, like the comps are about this, or if it doesn't have the comps. So then you can just do minimal research because you don't want to get trapped in a hole, doing all this research, and then you don't even have one item listed. And then you look around and go, oh crap, I had 10 items to list and I did all this research. Now I'm stuck, doing this, and I'm only going to get 2 listings done where I could have gotten 10 done if you'd have done the research before. Now, after you've got it all listed and everything, now this is a scarlet letter for me that I am guilty of. Inventory sometimes comes a little bit later. Okay. Now, in a perfect world, I would say, all right, I'm gonna inventory it right now. Like with my shoes, sometimes with my new shoes that I list, I'll make the box for it, put the shoes in it, and I put them in a little area. Usually when I have a downtime, or what I call my inventory time, it's like, all right, nothing else I'm going to do. I'm going to just do inventory because then you're working, you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, kind of like your pictures, kind of like your research, kind of like your photo room, kind of like your listings. Then I do all my inventory at one time where it's like, okay, these shoes are going to go in column A, column B. So I stack all my shoes. I've shown my shoe cave before. So that's what I do. Or, my hats. Okay, I'm going to put all these hats that I just listed in this box, box 25. So then I go back and do that. Or I'll already have it there. I'll make a note. Okay, all those hats were in box 25. And then I can go back and do all that stuff. Now, it would be better to have your inventory ideas already kind of, where you can put your SKU in at the same time you're listing. I'm guilty of that. I don't do that, but it's just something that I need to get better at. I do have faults and I do need to get better at that. So that's one thing I do need to do. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. Gizmo's right behind you though.
He got excited because I was excited. So
Leroy, you got any thoughts? Workflow.
I guess I'm on the hot seat. My internet's acting up really bad. You guys know how I do it. I go through a bin a day. I'll take it and I'll write numbers down. I'll go through, make sure the listings are still there. And then when I do my new numbers for the day, I skip through the numbers that are not in that bin. And then I will add those to that bin. And then I go to the next bin. It usually takes me, depending on my listing flow, it usually takes me about 4 months to get from 1 to 2,000 numbers. And then I'll stop back over again. So, there's a lot of other things that I can go into this, but we do need to try to keep the time down. But I'll give you that small little nugget is every day I grab a bin and I add to that bin. So instead of having wasted, I see people watch videos all the time, and I see people and they open a bin and there's 3 things in it, but they're making 5 new bins. Add to that. Find a way to add to those bins so your bins pretty much are always 50% full. Because if you just keep then you wonder why you have not enough space. So if you pay attention to what's in your bins and keep adding to those bins, like a systematically, you also will save space.
All right. Tim?
Well, my inventory system sucks. Just to be perfectly honest with everybody, obviously, for those of you that don't know, I've been in a transitional move for my entire career as a reseller. So yeah, I don't have an inventory system. It's in boxes that are kind of labeled, that are items that are wrapped in paper that I have to unwrap if I can't feel the shape of it properly to know if it's the item that I sold or not. But as I'm getting ready to get the shed, I hope to implement a completely new inventory system and work on that, because that is my biggest downfall as a reseller, is my organization. And it holds me back, I think, from my full potential. So I will always tell people, be organized. That should be the first thing that you learn how to do as a reseller. Organization and finances, the 2 things that I'm absolutely horrible at. I think that that's the best advice I can give to anybody. And people are like, "Oh, who are you to give advice on that if you suck at it?" Well, that's why I'm telling you, because I suck at it, and don't be like me. Okay. Sometimes the best advice is not the advice that you give somebody that you do yourself. It's the mistakes that you learn from. So I think that hopefully, you can take my mistakes and be better at what I have failed to be good at myself. As far as my listing procedures go, mostly the same as everybody else. I think one of the biggest things that I also fail to do consistently, although I do have started to be better at it, is the tip that Eric has always given us, is like when you're comping something, like screenshot it or save that item. I think that is one of the most useful tips that you can have, because you're ahead of the game already. And Cernoch doubled down on that, because he's like, I'm researching these items as I get them. Not everything is like that, because a lot of times, for me, with his glass, I don't necessarily research it unless it has like a more than like a $7 to $10 price tag on it. Anything less than that, I usually just pick it up because I know that it has some sort of value. So, but generally, even with that, I try not to get lost in the sauce on research. So, like, I will do a little bit of research on it. If I can find it, like research it within a certain amount of time, then I'll add it to the pile to take pictures. If I can't, then I won't necessarily take pictures of it, because at that point, it's like, why am I taking pictures of something that I'm not going to list right now? And it just slows down the workflow. So for me, I always am changing stuff. Like sometimes I'm like, okay, do I take pictures of 50 items and then edit all those 50 pictures, make my photo room ones, and then load them all up, and then do all the drafts, and then at that point I have 50 listings to just do, like sit down and I could do 50 listings. Sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes I'll do a 5 to 10 thing, where like I'll pick up 5 or 10 items, I'll do all the pictures, and I'll just list them right away. So sometimes it varies depending upon what I have ready to list, what my schedule is like. So it's not always the same for me. I think that it's something that you just will continuously work at, and you'll make changes periodically as you go throughout your reselling career. So for me, it's about I think the main point here from all of us is establishing a workflow that works for you. You want to be as productive as possible within the right amount of time. I think that's the ultimate goal, because your goal is to list. So you whatever you have to do personally to make that process work smooth and quickly is going to be the best process for you.
All right. So for me, I'll go super quickly. My process as far as bringing things into the flow, you pick up new stuff. I'll just tell you, I will speak a little bit in the way that Tim did. I am not there yet. That's to where I'd like to be in my process. The back of my van is entirely full right now of this past week's pickups for the most part. I had a truckload of inventory come to me this past week that I'm still trying to work through. But typical workflow would be this. Ideally for me, this is how it works. You bring home your stuff. You sort your stuff. Honestly, the best way to do it would be have empty bins, sort your stuff, kind of researching first, because what I like to do is see, is it worth listing by itself, or do I need to list it in a bundle, or do I need to just put it in a pile and either sell it in a yard sale or put it somewhere else. The next thing I think about now with having multiple platforms is, where do I think this would perform the best? So that's probably the platform I want to try to get it up on, whether it be Whatnot, whether it be eBay, and now whether it be what we're fixed to tell you in a few minutes. But whether it be one of those, I kind of want to see, like, where does it work best? I know there is cross posting, so you can do that. But when you talk about Whatnot and this other site, those are a little different animals. So for me, I think about that, and then I go to list. Ideally, and I've done this at times, and it actually works way better than normal. I like to list, like Cernoch says, everything at one time, one situation. I get bored pretty easily when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I like a random mix, right? Like, I know it's probably not the most efficient way, But for me, it kind of breaks the monotony. Like one time I did a stack of DVDs and I was bored out of my mind. Like I'm just like, I need something to break it up, like something that's a little different. So I generally try to list, like put a tote together, list that tote, then put that tote away. And that's kind of what ideally the workflow ultimate where I'm trying to get to, I'll just be honest, is to where I can bring a tote into where I list that tote, put that tote away. Obviously that includes cleaning, testing, all that. My workflow is research, clean, test, pictures. Like I list on my phone, so I just do it all at once. Like once I have the item, I clean it, I test it, I take a picture, I list it, and I put it in the tote, and then I take it out to the shed, put it in the inventory system. Like that's kind of what I do. Ideally, if I did that and then set up my next tote for the next day, that'd be the next step. Because I feel like there's something more to, like this morning, I've already listed like 7 items this morning. And that's something for me that if I do that first thing, it gets done. If I wait till later in the day, it may or may not get done. That's just how it is for me. So that's kind of my ideal workflow. And like these guys, I'll echo that. Figure out what works for you. Just, try to be efficient, try to be consistent. Like that's really what this thing's about is making sure you're putting up good listings, making sure you're putting up consistent listings. And, and obviously I'll tell you where I'm at right now, just open and honest. I feel like I'm hit with a tidal wave of inventory, right? Like I'm standing there, I got my rain jacket on, but I ain't ready. Like it's too much. So I'm having a massive yard sale this weekend. I've actually reached out to some other resellers about taking some inventory and that kind of thing. I'm going to start doing some box lots as well for sale. So guys, if you want some deals and you have certain things, if you're anywhere near the OBX, which you're probably not, but if you are and you would like to sell electronics, please hit me up because I've got a massive amount of that stuff. So that's just a little public service announcement. All right, guys. Well, the moment is here, and we want to talk about something brand new that we have launched, and we are super excited. I'm actually going to pull up what we're talking about and let you guys know how to get involved. But one of you guys want to take the intro part of this, and I'll pull up the.
Tim, have at it.
Oh, all right. I will talk. I don't have a problem with talking, as we all know here at RIN. So, ladies and gentlemen, basically, myself, Cernoch, Leroy, Eric, we have come together to provide a brand new selling platform. It is called the One Stop Shop by RIN. Basically, this is like you've seen a bunch of other people in the reselling community. Not a bunch, actually. Let me just rephrase that. There's only a few. There's Crazy Lamp Lady, Misty, Thrifter Junker, Vintage Hunter, and now Craigslist Hunter. A lot of hunting going on here. Craigslist Hunter has also launched their own platforms as well. So what this is going to be is a community selling and buying platform. And we wanted this platform to reflect us as resellers and as individuals. What we're big on here is at RIN is about community and is about helping others. What we are about as resellers is selling pretty much anything and everything under the sun collectively. And there's a lot of times you get a group of people together, they all kind of sell the similar things. There are things that we all sell together, they're the same, but then there are certain things that some of us sell more of. And obviously Cernoch is, the go-to guy when it comes to hats. Even though Eric and I sell hats, we still refer people as much as we possibly can to Cernoch because he knows the most about hats. We're talking about Leroy. Is there anybody else that that you want to talk to when it comes to selling tools? It's Leroy. So we're going to have a place for tools. We're going to have a place for hats. We're going to have a place for sports stuff. We're going to have a place for antiques and stuff like that. As Eric is scrolling through, you guys can kind of see already, we have gotten up a ton of listings so far. We've had other sellers make their first sales here on the platform. And myself, I just sold my first item today also. So you'll see on the left-hand side, yeah, super excited about that. You'll see on the left-hand side that there is a bunch of different chat channels. So, you know, you guys can go in there and you can chat whether you're a buyer or a seller. Now, the big thing is that we're going to be providing we're not the only ones that are selling here. We're going to be accepting applications, reviewing applications for other sellers so that you guys can jump in there and sell some stuff. That's what we want to do. We want to provide a platform for you all to sell on as well. There's a ton of amazing features on here. One of which is going to be the magic comment feature where you can take items and you can post them on social media and sell those items through social media by a claim system that directs them back to the district, which is the hosting platform for the one-stop shop. You guys can always go directly to the one-stop shop by going to www.onestopshoprin.net. That'll take you directly to our marketplace. One of the other big things that we're going to be doing that is going to be different than a lot of these other marketplaces on the app already is the wholesale section of our website. So there in the wholesale section, you're going to be able to find bundles. You're going to be able to find lots. You're going to be able to find specific wholesale lots that are going to be curated based upon request and also curated just out of stuffed inventory that we have. So definitely want to keep an eye out for stuff like that because Cernoch and Eric have already been in talks of absolutely amazing wholesale lots that they're going to be making available to you as a reseller. Whether you're an online reseller, flea market reseller, it doesn't really matter. There's going to be tons of opportunities here for you guys to pick up items by wholesale lots. I think that's going to be a huge part of what we're going to be able to provide for this community here at the one-stop shop, which is going to be, you know, very important and very different than a lot of the other marketplaces on the app. We have already jumped into, I believe we are ranked. I have it up right here. I can tell you guys in 1 second. I think we are the number 50th ranked. Excuse me. We are now number 45. We are the 45th ranked marketplace amongst all the marketplaces that district hosts. So we're super excited about it. You will be able to
out
find
of 60?
No, that's out of every single marketplace out there. So you guys will be able to find a link to our marketplace in the description of this video, obviously. Excuse me. And just make sure you guys keep out for more information regarding social media, whether it be in the Facebook group or on Instagram. We will be opening up a specific Instagram for the one-stop shop. We're going to be doing a bunch of cool things with that. And the other thing is there will be live sales on this platform as well. So you're talking about an opportunity to buy and sell auction, buy and sell buy it nows, and buy and sell via the live sale option. So this is literally like so much opportunity all wrapped up into one place. And like I said, one of the big important things is that chat that you see on the left-hand side. You know, you can chat amongst sellers. You can chat amongst buyers. It's a great opportunity to, if you're looking for something specific. One of our first sales happened yesterday. Somebody came into the in search of chat, and they said, I am in search of a wood-hinged box. And Joe Deals, shout out to Joe Deals, one of our channel members and one of our early adapters and sellers here on the one-stop shop. He jumped right in and said, I got a box for you. Sent her a picture, came back with the measurements. She said that works perfect. He listed the item. She bought the item. Done deal. It is just like that sort of communication and instant stuff. It's so hard to find on a lot of these larger platforms. And trust me, this platform is going to continue growing. And when I say this platform, I mean the one-stop shop. Obviously, the entire whole concept of district will continue to grow. I don't expect it to be a open the floodgate sort of situation. This is going to be very selective. So it's important if you guys want to become sellers, all you have to do is go to the one-stop shop. You can click a button to apply to sell. And then once I said we will be processing those seller applications periodically throughout the weeks. We do have a bunch of sellers already on board. So there is a lot of opportunity here, a lot of excitement here. And you know, one of the things we didn't even touch on is, you know, the fees. Fees are going to be a lot easier to digest than some of these bigger platforms. But we always preach about, the more eyes that see your items, the better. And we're just trying to provide that sort of opportunity along with the community. I just don't think that there's anything else like this out there right now. We are super excited. I did talk about a lot of this already in my video that dropped on my channel. But having these guys here, I want to reiterate how grateful and excited I am to be able to be doing this with these three people. This is like, I can't express it enough. Like, these guys are like big brothers to me. I am just so fortunate to have these gentlemen in my corner, and to be able to do this together, the four of us, just kind of goes to show you the power in numbers and what we've been able to do as a group since the moment we started this until, started listing and loafing to Resell Information Network to now the one-stop shop. Just kind of continues to show the growth as a group, and we wouldn't be able to do this growth as a group if it was not for each and every one of you that watches on Tuesdays, that watches our pre-recorded, that follows us on social media, that is already jumped in and became a member of the one-stop shop. We are only as strong as you all are. So we just want to thank you guys, and we want to continue to grow. And hopefully you guys kind of get an idea of what's happening here now with the one-stop shop.
Yeah, I did want to make one thing mention of. We're going to drop a link in the chat as well. You can actually save $5 on your first purchase if you want to come in and buy. And if you're already a member, you can actually share your own link out to anybody. So that's kind of like a little introduction. You can come in and do some shopping with us and type in search of if there's something you're looking for something special for somebody for Christmas. I guarantee you somebody amongst our community of resellers has it more than likely. If not, they'll find it. It's just how we are.
So check this out. I have a little announcement on this too. So I was talking to my mom. Okay, my mom came. Y'all saw them last time on a couple weeks ago.
Loafing, yeah,
on Listing and Loafing. My mom came. But my mom likes to do a lot of crocheting. So I've told her, like, yo, start an Etsy shop. But then when I started looking at it, I'm like, man, I don't know if she's going to be able to do all this stuff on her own. It's going to be a lot for me. So I said, Mom, send me a bunch of pictures. I'll do the listing, and I'll put it on District so we can talk about it. She's got crochet stockings, hats, all kinds of stuff. And I said, hey, let's see if we can, like someone, they need Christmas gifts. So I'm working right now. We might have some
a little crafting category coming up.
Category, you know what I'm saying? So some handmade gear. So especially for the holidays. So just it works out that way. So I can maybe help out Mom.
That's killer. Little Mama Cernoch action.
Love it.
Also, there might be my brother might be getting into something too. So I was talking to him and showing him some stuff. So
it's a family affair. We're good.
Yeah.
We like it for sure. Hey, we do appreciate each and every one of you guys for being with us. Do go check out those links. We are super excited. I'll just tell you, for us, this wasn't a decision that came lightly. We want to make sure that we're doing what is absolutely the best we can for our community. And one of the things that really sold us on District is the idea of it is like, I almost like hear the little theme song. We're all in this together. But that's, that is one of the things that was super exciting to me is that how we can actually share to other people's things they have for sale. Because one of the things with us as running the District is we are able to, when we run auctions, we can actually share other people's listings. So that's a great opportunity as well. So we'd look forward to you guys coming and being a part of that. And whether you're saying, hey, I kind of want to come in and fill it out, like come in, join the membership, like check it out, do a little perusing around. If you feel like it's something you may want to do as far as selling, absolutely hit that button, go and apply. And like I said, we'll work on that. We are working on doing some onboarding just to kind of go over some of the basics of how you do it. One of the things I will say is the support community is great when it comes to this stuff. We've already had a lot of that we're working on because it is fairly new platform. So we do thank all you guys for your patience with that, and looking forward to what the future holds for both our one-stop shop and here at RIN. We do thank all of you guys so much, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Let's give a little hello, goodbye.
Hey guys. All right.
See,
So
yeah,
listen, I'm excited about this
listen,
trick, and I
Leroy,
don't.
you taunted your internet gremlins, and they got you right there, bro.
I'm super excited about this trick. And it takes a lot for me to get excited unless it's like a 800 totes of nothing. But I'm the only guy that will drive across the country to get 85 empty totes, not full totes. But I'm super excited because of the opportunity for me being someone where I go to all these different events and I'm all by myself. Like for real, like I got these guys, but in my listing category, I might hear somebody say they got 4 or 5 things, and I got over 1,500 items that I sell that are all tools and hardware. So I'm excited because I feel like I could be one of the first ones in this category on this platform. So you guys have stuff like that as well, where you have a category that you don't really talk about, but you do like to dabble in it. And this is a good opportunity. Again, we're going through applications. I don't know if everyone gets accepted. We have to look at certain things, but please be patient with us because there is a lot around that, and we all still trying to live our lives. So I don't know a week we're going to accept stuff or something like that, but be patient with us as we grow and teach you guys with this platform.
All right, we'll wrap it up, man. Cernoch.
Leroy likes those internet gremlins. His gremlins doesn't like this. Remember that? They say no. Hey, it's a pleasure as always. Listen, district, I've got a lot of listen. I don't ever like the excuse I can't find anything, or like I can't thrift, or my area doesn't have anything. Hey, if you're that person and you like clothing, I'll solve your problems. Okay, on district. Okay, so there's a wholesale thing on there. If in search of, if you're looking for something or you need inventory, let us know. So because I think between me and Eric, we can load you up. Okay, and Eric said earlier, the offer always stands. If anybody's in the Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia and you need inventory, text me, message me, stop on by. I will load you up. So, but thank you always. Hey, the community support has been great. Listing in Loafin has been growing and growing. So if you have people, if you have friends that want to watch something on Tuesday from 9 to noon and they're listing and want to interact, let them know about it. So, but yeah, thank you to the whole community, and keep those questions coming. Take a look at our Facebook group. Lot of help in the Facebook group, and hit us up on Instagram.
All right, Tim, take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a happy time here at the Reseller Information Network. We are so happy to be doing this journey, not by ourselves, but with each and every one of you. We are very happy that we are able to do what we do. We are very happy that we are able to do what we are able to do with the people we are able to do it with. We are very happy to continue growing and to continue learning and to continue teaching and to continue reselling. That is what we are happy about. We are very happy about the one-stop shop. We are very happy about RIN, and we are very happy about you. But most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to tell a friend about RIN. But don't forget to tell a friend about the one-stop shop by RIN. Ladies and gentlemen, stay classy. Beep 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 beep.